Basement, level vibes with another one, straight up, blackness aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, we have to gather wrong, grab a seat and sit down, pay attention. Education, liberation, we have to stand strong. Benskop upon the radio, lively up the program. Everybody call somebody and let them turn and tune and pon the radio and catch the boom song. We boom it up already, we have to boom it up again. Expose and reveal him. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everybody. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Benskop stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can hear, the dumb can talk, the cripple can walk. Boom. Who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop, who tell the truth? Mark Benskop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Benskop, radio station is the fruit. Mark Benskop, straight up from the root. Mark Benskop.
Yeah, my name is Jasnity Kaldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data.
So this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington law firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
Yeah, my name is Jasnity Kaldata Francis Vietnam, and since 1965 I become a voter, and I always place my X next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by one vote, they're losing it by data. I have no.
This is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington law firm located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
All right. Hey, guess what? Good evening. My name is Mark Benchap. Kind of like a late start. We almost didn't make it to the studio. but we're glad that we're here. So do share the link and let's rock and roll this evening on 107.1 FM, the Old People's Show. Uh, you know, I'm at that point now that we can say Old People's Show, right? Gosh, how time flies. All right, so it's not just the Old People's Show, it's the show that you get accurate information. We open your eyes about situation back in Guyana. The big thing on the agenda is that voters list. And those of you who have not been telling your loved one back in Guyana to check the voters list, ensure, and I'm gonna depend on you guys in the audience as I say good evening to all of you, and good evening to our operator Lemon. We know we have promised that you will get to see Lemon someday, but let me just acknowledge all of you, every single one of you, even if I don't call your names. It doesn't mean that I do not acknowledge you guys. I don't want you, because people have been complaining. They inbox me to ask me if I have favorites on this show. You guys are not easy, you know. I do not have, well, okay. I do not have favorites. And so if I say hi to Rhonda Lane, who, by the way, Rhonda Lane did a live on her show, and she was watering her plants and she was showing off. Good job, Rhonda. She got her fowls and all sort of things. Good job, Rhonda. I'm proud of you, Rhonda. And if they say that I call your name and they're vexed and they're jealous, well, you know, who vex, right? But tonight I'm going to take the time out before and while you guys share the link to call all of your names. Janice Booker, Sherilyn Panchan, GT Root Girl, Beverly Crandon. I'm going to call all your names. I don't want people to get upset. Rajan Bin, how are you doing? Good to see you. Lynette Nelson, Samantha Porter, James Harding, Blanche McPherson, Andrea D., Natalie Harry, Sparkling Wills, Hazel Reynolds, all the way in St. Lucia. I used to love St. Lucia for a particular reason. Sorry about that. I'm live on the program right now. But good evening to all of you. Even if your name is not called, do not get vexed, guys. Do not get vexed. Mavis, Davis Wells, all of you guys, do not get vexed. Brother Kenneth is saying, oh, Lord. I haven't heard that song since he was a kid or something like that. All right, guys. So Matthew Dennison, Lily, Gulliver, all of you guys, you know, Radhika. Hi, Radhika. How are you, Radhika? Why you leave and gone? Radhika left and gone right here on 107.1 FM. But she's back. She's back. How many of you guys, as we build the audience up, how many of you guys know Radhika? The song Radhika. How many of you guys know the song Radhika? Come on, guys. We can talk a little bit. You know, don't be ashamed. We can talk. How many of you guys?
Without a bone, girl, I don't want to be alone. So Radhika, why you leave and go?
All right, so we're glad to have Radhika back with us. She's in the audience. We really missed you, Radhika. Good to have you back. All of you, some of you who have been missing in action. I haven't seen Myrna, Grandma Myrna, and all these other people, but maybe their internet. Desiree Smart, Felix, of course, Sandra, Good Luck Sample, all of you. We're recognizing all of you tonight, right, Lemon? All of you, except if there is somebody has been misbehaving. If you see her in the audience, let me know. Francine Cruz. Keith Beresford, good evening to you, sir. Wendy Andrews, good evening. Letitia Moniz, you could tell. Waveney Doris, where is Waveney Moore? Come on, somebody tag Waveney Moore. All right, Patricia Sana, everybody's begging for a little big up, as we would say. But, you know, we appreciate all of you. Every single one of you, we appreciate. Call your loved ones and let them check the voters list to ensure that their names are on the voters list. Just as an FYI, right? I'm just going to be with you guys for 1 hour. 1 hour, because I've been traveling all day. I barely made it back in time for the show. All day I've been traveling. So please see with me tonight. Anne, Elizabeth, Kit, Bridget, Dorcas, John, all of you. So let's get down into some business here tonight. One of the things I want to start off with, the PPP guys, they love to, they can't take the pressure. They love to attack. They cannot take the pressure. I want to point out something. There's a guy by the name of, he sang some song, something about peep me or watch me or whatever it is. His name is Mahendra Killaman or Killman or Killman or whatever. I want you guys to listen. These guys are dangerous, but yet they call themselves businessmen and all. I want you guys to listen to something. I mean, it's funny, but I still want you guys to listen to something indeed. It's funny. It's, of course, but it's like these guys, like they can do better. They just can't do better. And I want you guys to listen to something for just a couple seconds, so to speak. We can't give them much time. Just a couple seconds. Just a couple seconds. And I'll.
Right. So this man, Bharat Jagdeo, I don't believe this man is a real man. Who is he really, man? Bharat Jagdeo in Guyana. That man is not a real person. I don't believe which world he come from, a different planet or something.
All right, so he's right about that. And many of you would agree that Bharat Jagdeo is not a real man. He's right about that. Bharat Jagdeo is not a real man. He's just not a real man. But I want you guys to continue to listen to this Paku. Listen to him. So he's right about that, right off the bat. Jagdeo is not a real man, and he himself, this guy too, might not be a real man either. And I'll explain to you guys why, but listen to him.
I gotta go in Guyana and make appointments, even meet the man and hold his hand and think to see if it's a real person. Like, I don't believe it's a real man. Because I never hear people wake up, dream, nighttime, morning, tea, breakfast, dinner, preach a man named so. I never hear some people preach a man named so. Imagine this morning I reach home.
The man is a Guyanese, but the man reach home this morning. I reach home this morning.
About 4 something. I reach him about 4 something this morning. And I say I go and make some bacon saltfish and thing before I go and sleep. And I put on my phone, I hear they got a broom lady, that old broom. You ever hear of a broom? That broom's lady. Early morning, she bathe and dress up. And all you hearing is Bharat Jagdeo, Bharat Jagdeo, Bharat Jagdeo, Bharat Jagdeo. Preaching. I don't know if she was praying to the man or she was preaching or what. That is why I say it's not a real man. When you go in your chair and you sit down in the afternoon, all you hear them Bencock man and so whatever the name Bencock is Bencock he name. All what they're doing preaching Jagdeo, Jagdeo.
So you guys already know what's on his mind, right? What he's accustomed to. Listen.
What they're doing preaching Jagdeo, 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 Jagdeo. Not a word about nobody more. Them Borkman and so whole day, whole night. Jagdeo, Jagdeo. Not a word about nobody more. Them Borkman and so whole day in the afternoon, all you hear them Bencock man and so whatever the name Bencock is Bencock he name.
All right, so let's begin with Mr. Caesar. Good evening and welcome to Straight Up. How are you, sir? Your microphone. We can't hear you at all. Your microphone, please, sir. Thank you. I almost took Mr. Caesar for Keith Beresford there for a second, but not Keith Beresford. So let me say this while Mr. Caesar fixes mic. Otherwise, I'll ask you guys for us to start a GoFundMe and to see what we can do for Mr. Caesar. We can't hear him. His microphone. If you can log out and then come back in, we'll see how that goes, Mr. Caesar. But we can't hear you. No, we cannot hear you, sir, at all. Sorry about that. So this is where I want to point out that these idiots, many years ago, this is what happened. Not so long ago, the same guy who's pretending to be righteous, he was under fire in 2020 for Facebook ranting, right? ERC launches probe. Minister Norton says comments damaging to social cohesion. And this is what he said, mind you. Apart from that, you know, he was in jail. Again, he was in jail. He was in jail, but we'll get back to that. He was in jail. He's a jail man. He was in jail. Now, this ranting that he was part of was basically promoting violence against Ramjatan, slap up this minister when you see a minister spit in the face. This is what are these PPP bagoos? Who are they? Who are they? But look at the ranting, and these guys have no moral authority. I'll get a little bit down into that. But take a look at this here now. Can you hear us now, Mr. Caesar?
I can hear you loud and clear. Am I good?
Perfect. So now, this little rattlesnake, not you, Mr. Caesar, not you. Yeah, but good to see you, Mr. Caesar. Now, this Paku, Killman, he, in 2011, it says the big headline, them a watch me singer accused of wife assault. And here what happened. This is the funny thing. Chutney singer Mahendra Kilawan was today remanded to prison. Oh gosh. He was sent to prison. He is an old jail man. So now this old jail man, Ram Kilawan, this old jail man. I bet you didn't know that he's an old jail man, Mr. Caesar. I bet you guys didn't know that he was in prison there and then he had to sleep in hammock and all kind of thing. He's an old jail man. And these are the kind of people who's representing Jack Deere. You know what kind of man Jack Deere is. We all of us know what kind of man. Nobody's afraid of Jack Deere. Jack Deere is a pussycat. But this jail man now, he went to prison, right? A jail man, they put Chutney singer Ram Kilawan was today remanded to prison after he was charged with assaulting his wife. Remanded to prison. He's an old jail man. But not only that, Mr. Caesar. You know, he has a club, a so-called club, probably a wedding house, bottom house place on Liberty Avenue called Stabrook, some crap. But I'm asking you guys, it doesn't make sense you spend your money with these. I wouldn't even say racist because he's black. He's a tar baby. But Mr. Caesar, what is your take quickly before we go to the tape where he, in his club that is located somewhere on Liberty Avenue, some Stabrook or whatever, it is dangerous and folks shouldn't support this club. Your take on what you just heard there from this Paku here, Mr. Caesar.
Well, Mark, listen. In his statement, he's taking a direct line. Okay, direct line, and his bias is in favor of the PPPC. You can tell.
Nothing is wrong if he favors him. If this Paku, people can support whoever they support. But is the self-righteousness with these Pakus?
Yes. And listen, it doesn't surprise me that this wife beater, because that is essentially what he is.
A jail man. Because once you go to jail for these stupidness, you're a jail man. He's a jail man.
And an abuser of women, which he should be ashamed of himself. He should be totally ashamed of himself. So, listen, Mark, he has no grounds for making any type of statement whatsoever. And so what if people calling out Barra Jagdeo name? They call him Barra Jagdeo name because he is the person who continues to oppress and marginalize Guyanese.
But what he wants to do, he wants to suck up to Jagdeo, suck up. Like if Jagdeo is some kind of god that people can. Jagdeo ripped the country off. Jagdeo stole from the country, rip off in every sense. So Jagdeo is a Paku, just like this idiot here is a Paku as well. But before we go on, because we don't want to spend much time with this Paku, let me show you guys what happened recently. You get a little wild house on Stabrook, on Liberty Avenue. This is what happened recently. They're fighting, and then want to come on social media. Take a look, guys.
Why are you coming here and bullying me? No. And why are you coming here for you believe in me? Oh, that one. Let's go. Come here.
I got you. That's all, please.
So the point is these, and I hope people, I hope people do not go and support that place. They're just going to be shooting up and all kind of thing in that place. You could already see where it's heading. Guys, do not go and support these guys. Do not support them. Somewhere on Liberty Avenue is called some Stabrook Bar or something like that. Do not support these. So you see what is going on there. They're fighting, rum and drink up and fight up and all manner of things. Look, the same guy who talking about they're talking about Jack. They're talking with a fake Trini accent. Look at how they behave. Look at how they behave in there. Who would want to go to this?
Why are you coming here and bullying me? No. And why are you coming here for you believe in me? Oh, that one. Let's go. Come here.
I got you. That's all, please.
You embarrass me.
Oh my God.
Them boys pump me up, boss up your head, all manner of things. Every minute on Liberty Avenue, they're beating you up. It's either you owe somebody, allegedly rob somebody, get beat up, all sorts of things. But we don't want to waste much time more on that, Paku. You're not surprised what you just saw there in that video, right, Mr. Beresford? Sorry, Mr. Caesar? Yeah.
Absolutely not, Mark. Listen, this is typical, PPPC type behavior, lawless in nature. You have a set of drunkards and they're just cursing and just going on and fighting, It's normal, typical type of behavior, and you call these people businessmen. These are just lawless men. It's not businessmen. What does that have to do with any business? It's just, please, Mark. These guys are just
no wonder why
they melt and they align with the government and what the government stands for. Lawlessness.
Went to jail. An old jail man. Mr. Caesar, we have other stuff. Elections coming up. Your take on the voters list. What's happening? We're not hearing much from GECOM. We're not hearing anything at all from the opposition commissioners. What's happening, sir?
Well, Mark, first thing I would say, not enough pressure is being put there. We have been harping all the time on this, voters list, and I don't know if they're going biometrics. We should already be halfway through that process, or that process should have already been started. But listen, Mark, it's just my take and it's just my opinion. Okay, the elections in Guyana is no longer being controlled by the quote unquote we the people. I feel, Mark, that there's external forces that's going to play a major role in our electoral process. Hence, the major delay in any new voters list being put forth or something updated. We haven't gotten anything yet. The GECOM commissioners, Mark, I said this before in the program, and I'm going to say it again. The posture of these people would make any regular in right thinking individual think that everybody is in bed together. And listen, they can all be in bed together, because just like how they're all in bed together, they all can be removed across the board. Okay? There's nothing that can't happen. Anything is possible. So it's unfair to the Guyanese people, Mark, for you to have GCOM, a body, that should be independent of government, not being transparent with the people who are literally the taxpayers of the country, who is paying to have such a body in existence. So they're not executing their mandate, obviously, to the people. And the GCOM commissioners on the opposition side is not helping the process, because they are not forthcoming enough with information. Where this is going to tie back to, Mark, it's going to tie back to the leader of the opposition, because he should be pressing, you understand me, these commissioners for information so that he can relate to the people, because it's obvious that the opposition have a very large following. So it is their responsibility to keep the people informed. And this is what I've been talking about. There have been a lack thereof, and people need to put on their shoes and get going. This is normal, everyday procedure. You're not doing anything special here. You are just gathering information to provide, to your electorate. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. 36 minutes after 8 o'clock, the commissioners of GCOM, the opposition commissioners, are very quiet. They need to be talking to the people. They need to be talking about things happening at GCOM, inside of GCOM. That is their job, to reveal these things. And it's unfortunate, very unfortunate, that we're not hearing from them. There's no press conference. There's no constant banging at the system in there at GCOM. Unlike when the PPP was in the opposition, almost every week we hear 2 and 3 times from those or the then opposition commissioners, Bibi Shadiq, Robeson Ben, and Says Gunraj. They all were extremely vociferous. Unlike what we have now in the likes of Charles Corbyn, Donald Trot, sorry, not Donald Trotman, Desmond Trotman, and Vincent Alexander. The only time we hear occasionally is from Vincent Alexander. We need to hear from all 3 commissioners. That's what they're being paid for. We need to see more action coming from the opposition. We should have been seeing that over 2-3 years ago, but we suddenly now are hearing that they are going to have action starting by this month end. We need a robust opposition. We don't need an opposition that has a press conference once a week and issue occasionally some press releases. It has got to stop. Elections around the corner. Something is not adding up, Mr. Caesar. And to all our listeners, something is not adding up with the opposition. Something is not adding up. Whatever that something is, maybe we'll talk about that some other time, but something is not adding up. What do you think is not adding up then, in your mind?
Well, listen, Mark, when you have an opposition, the opposition needs to be, they need to be their own team. Let's just put it that way. This opposition hasn't been themselves. We've heard things like no protest. How can you not have protests if you have an election commission that is behaving the way that GCOM is behaving? You must protest them. It is mandatory. Why? because that body is not behaving correctly. It is not, it is just not aligning with our laws. You know? So
one of the things, Mr. Caesar, is we hear a lot from these opposition politicians. When they jump on a plane and they sit on the plane and they look around to see if anybody recognizes them, and then they reach a JFK and they come off and they go in Brooklyn and they walk around and they go at public meetings, occasional, you would swear to God that when they return to Guyana, that they will do something. They actually get paid. There are some of them who say that they just get a stipend, but $300,000+ a month can never be a stipend. They get paid to do their job. But many of them who travel and come overseas to attend meetings, they are more active over here than when they go back there. They become very silent. Some of them only post photographs, just want to be leader of the party, want to contest. That's all they do. There is nothing. They believe that making a video and putting it out on social media is politics. It is not politics. They are not confronting the PPP regime. They are not holding the regime accountable at all. Some of them are eating the king's meat with the corrupt PPP regime, and we've got to be very careful with those corrupt ones. We've got, this is 2024, we've got to be careful that we see some of them just disappearing for opportunistic reasons. So the opposition right now, for me to give them a grade, right off the bat, I'll give them an F. They have failed us. They got to do better. Some of them might be out there sucking their teeth or whatever, but we are not seeing any opposition to the PPP. None whatsoever. And anybody who considers this a responsible opposition don't know what a political opposition is all about. Over to you.
Mark, I could not agree with you more. Typically, I always fight with you when it comes down to grades. And you would have given a grade of F tonight. And I can't do anything but agree with you, because that is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing a complete failure on the part of the opposition. I know a lot of people get angry and a lot of people get mad, but you know, I don't mince matters, you know. I speak to what I see, you know, and we're just not seeing enough.
You know, Wayne, I noticed your fellow Pleasance man. He says the people have to hold the government accountable. But there's another part where he says here, he's yelling. Conrad August is always yelling, yell, big mouth, yell. Conrad is saying, stop blaming the MPs and the opposition leader, blame the people. You take a bite at what Conrad is saying.
Well, you know, Mark, it would be difficult for me to just sit here and say, oh man, Conrad August is talking a bundle of nonsense. You know, listen, the MPs from time to time do come out and hold these protests, Mark. Now, if the MPs are out there protesting,
hold the MPs.
No, Mark, should the people not be out there protesting also? Mark, this thing starts in the home with the family and the elders in the family sitting down and speaking to the family and giving them an understanding of what is happening. How the elders get to understand what is happening, it is the MPs who have to get on the ground and edify the people of Guyana as to what is happening. So when you look at it, both parties are responsible. Both parties are responsible, because we have had protests where we have protests on some real solid, important issues. And to watch 13 people come online, come on, man. The people is really got these people
politics
or something, or have a gun to their head or something.
Politics is basically this. People go out and they fight to elect a leader, or they elect representatives. When people elect representatives in politics, they expect their representatives to represent them. They expect their leaders to represent them. You cannot have a bunch of people who have been elected, selected, or whatever to represent a constituency totaling over 218,000. The people want representation. Politics is not about you elect your leaders and then you go ahead and you pull the bull by its horn. You want your leaders to be brave. You want your leaders to go in front of GECOM, not once per week, go out for half hour, take little pictures, and they go back in. That is not politicking. That is not holding any government accountable. And so when the people don't see the leaders taking the bull by its horn, the people are turned off. People want to see brave leaders. People don't want to see leaders who just get locked up for 15 or just gone in breakdown for 15 minutes and come out back, and that's the end of the struggle. Where members of parliament are afraid of being locked up, are afraid of getting handcuffs on them, are afraid of going to prison. When people see weak leaders, you know what they do? They step back and say, man, did I make the right decision here? Have I made? But oftentimes weak leaders want people to go out there and go in the front line. Like what we have been seeing at GECOM. You see Rhonda Lane and a few people there. Just a few people you see. And then occasionally the members of parliament, some of them just pop by for a quick selfie and they're gone. Or if they don't drop by, guess what they ask? Hey, is who protest they say? Is Wayne call this protest? No, me going. They're not looking at the cause. They're looking at who called the protest. And then they will decide whether they go or not. That is the sort of selfish, silly, dotish politics that's being played by the opposition in Guyana.
Mark, may I intercede for 1 second here? Because what the definition that you would have just given me, what you would have just said, Mark, it ties into you and who you are. You are truly a fearless leader. Mark, it is not easy to find leaders today that are fearless. Okay, let me be frank with you. It is not easy to find leaders who are fearless. Okay, there is some measure of fear, okay, in these leaders that we have out there. Everybody knows, Mark.
Get out of the kitchen. Get out of.
I agree with you.
Let them resign. Just go and put people who can fight, people who have the guts to fight. I noticed Waveney Doris, is it Waveney Doris, is saying that opposition is too damn quiet, no bones. Of course, and we've got to start calling the opposition out now. It has been too long. Mr. Norton has been there for over 2 years. He's got to be called out. He is the leader now. He has got to be called out. He promised action from day one. What have we been able to see? Absolutely the opposite. No action. There was something else that caught my attention. Sorry. I think it's Myrna. Myrna was talking about, that under the coalition regime, the teachers came out, and this is what it is. The teachers went on strike against Granger administration, but now we see the teachers union is being divided by Ali, but there is no strike, there's no protest, there's nothing at all. Something, Mr. Caesar, something is not adding up with the opposition. They are too damn quiet. One press conference per week, it doesn't, they're too damn quiet. Somebody's eating the king's meat somewhere.
Mark, let me be key to say something here. And this is a very good point that this woman is making, that during, the administration of APNU plus AFC, 2015 to 2020, the teachers came out and they protest. Mark, remember, we are talking about a coalition government, a very clean government, a well-mannered government. Okay, a government that provides.
They had some ruffians. They had some
elements in there.
Some of them know who they are. Some of them know who they are. Some of them don't take one with some of them. But
they're attempting to go right back.
The government, under the coalition government, had to undo a lot of dirty things coming from the PPP regime, 23 years in office. While they have done some very, very good things, lots of good things, they had one and two Pakus in the coalition too. I just wanted to remind you and our listeners, they had one and two Pakus in the coalition.
I don't disagree with you. And when I speak of the goodness of the coalition, I'm not saying from a holistic perspective, everyone was excellent, but holistically, the coalition was excellent for Guyana as a unit. You know, within a unit, Mark, you'll have a few elements in there. That's normal. That is natural. But
Yeah, we got some of them watching the show right now.
I must say, going into another election, we do need to weed out those elements. The coalition would need to weed out those elements. But let me be clear
it's
to say,
difficult. Remember when they attempted to, they had a bad rat, a very, very bad rat in the coalition. It was brought to the attention of those leaders that Charan Rat Das was going to be the one to pull them down. Was going to be the one to pull them down.
Mark,
it was brought to the attention of the leaders of the coalition, especially Ramjatan. They totally ignored it. They totally ignored it. And now let me say this to I see we have a new Brian Robertson say, Mark, let Caesar speak. We don't conduct ourselves like this. This is a family. And if Caesar interrupts me or I interrupt Caesar, we go right back to Caesar. All right, Brian Robertson? Thank you, sir. Go ahead, Mr. Caesar.
Yes, Mark, as I was saying, there's quite a difference between the coalition and the PPPC. Now, if the teachers come out the way they came out against the coalition, against this PPP regime, trust me, there's a price to pay. With this regime, when you protest or you speak out against them, there's a price to pay, or they attempt, to either have you lose your job or something, which is absolutely not right, which is absolutely against the laws. People have a right to speak out against government. Government was elected to serve the people. Mark, Barry Jagdion, all these guys have to remember, they are public servants. They are not what they're pretending to be, businessmen and rich and famous. They are supposed to be public servants serving the people of Guyana. Mark, I try my best, to put in the best possible words I can. Something good about this install regime, Mark, but I cannot come up with anything. These guys are just horrible because they're not politicians. It's just a set of thugs that was placed there to instill fear in the people of Guyana and just continue to oppress and steal from them. And that is exactly what is happening here.
Oh, sorry about that. There's a Robin Morgan saying they still have a lot more Sharon dogs, within, and that is so true too. But I wanted to bring the comment of Winnet Wayne. That is true, Winnet. But at the end of the day, Aubrey Compton Norton is the leader, and nobody's blaming him. At no point in time during this program, I nor Wayne blamed Aubrey Norton alone. We never did that, ma'am. So I just thought I'd make that point clear to you. You're not blaming, but the buck stops right there. Aubrey is the leader of the opposition. He's the leader of APNU. He is he's there. And so he has to be held accountable. When Aubrey was not the opposition leader, Aubrey wanted to ensure that he hold all of those other leaders accountable. So Aubrey Norton is no different. There's nothing special about Aubrey Norton that nobody can't hold him accountable. Absolutely nothing. And by doing this, it doesn't mean there's any hatred for Aubrey. Certainly not. We're just saying because 218,000 people need strong representation. And anybody who says that there is strong representation now in this current makeup of the opposition, something is wrong with them. The opposition is weak. I give them again F. Over to you, Mr. Caesar.
Mark, I'm going to say this. Sometimes people, they go after something. And when it do happen for them or to them, they seem to be lackluster. And I'm fearful that when, Aubrey Norton wakes up, his time would have been passed. This is the time. This is the time where he executes as the leader, Mark. It is Aubrey Compton Norton who is at the hem of the opposition right now. And listen, in politics, Mark, sometimes in order to get something, you need to negotiate and you need to give something. You need to give a little sometime in order to get a little. Okay? As a leader, Mark, I am telling you, if I was the leader of that party, all my MPs would be lining up beside me. They don't have to line up behind me, beside me. Because, Mark, you have to sit down. You have to be able to reason. You have to be open-minded. Okay? You have to also be open to constructive criticism. Not every time you get with someone, it happens first off, you develop this awesome relationship and everything, rolls along smoothly. Sometimes there's some bumps in the road and you got to work things out. And then when you do find out, you become excellent friends, So this thing with MPs are not listening to Mr. Norton. No. There's lack of leadership, man.
They need strong action right now, even if it has to be to recall some of these MPs who are suspects. Just make a decision right now for the benefit of the 218,000+ people who voted for the opposition, who voted and won the elections, mind you. But let me go to a comment here by Camille Cox. Camille Cox is saying here, the only person that could have removed Charandas from parliament was Amna Ali. Even if the AFC had removed him from the party, they could not move him from parliament. That is incorrect. The leader of the list, who then was a gentleman by the name of, I'll remember if anybody, a white hair guy from UG, Lachman, Harold Lachman was leader of the list. And the leader of the list could have sent a note to GECOM calling for Charandas to be recalled. Story done. And send that letter to the Speaker of the National Assembly, who at that time was Dr. Bertrand Scotland. And that is how it's done. It had nothing to do with Amna. But Amna was the one brazenly say, what did she say? Bring it on. Bring it on. The no confidence motion, bring it on. And these people were just too goddamn full of themselves. Some of them, right? Bring it on when you knew that Charandas was going to do that. Sitting behind Charandas was Jerry Govaya and Peter Ramstroop. What do you expect? You sit there and you say, bring it on. Well, they end up where they end up. A no confidence motion against them because of stupidity. That's what it was. Stupidity. Yes, Mr. Caesar.
No, listen, Mark, this whole situation with Charandas, from what I would have heard, it was a known thing. It was kept on the wraps. It was kept on the hush-hush for quite a bit of time. There were people in what is the opposition right now, the APNU plus AFC, that wanted to see this whole thing happen. And you know what hurts the most about this whole situation is that for 1 minute, no one sat down and thought of the Guyanese people. It was just us, we, self, and that is what irritates me, because it's the taxpayers' money that pays you guys. It's the taxpayers' money that goes into your pockets, and still you sit there and you neglect them year after year. So, Mark, when I look at it, a full synopsis of everything, man, listen, I come back to what you said. If it's too hot in the kitchen, just get the heck out. It's not for you. Go do something else. Find something that you like, actually. Find something that you're passionate about. Because Mark, when you're an MP, Mark,
maybe they could go and sell cook-up like Compton, cook-up, start a cook-up shop, start a beauty salon, start something. But if politics is not for you, Get out of the kitchen, indeed. Mr. Caesar, here is something because we're looking at the time. I've been out all day traveling. I want to take this to a vote because I know the MPs are watching, and Aubrey Norton may be watching as well. He still remains a friend. We want the best for the opposition, and sometimes it is what it is. We've got to do this publicly. It doesn't mean any hatred towards anybody, but they've got to get their act together. I give the entire opposition an F. What do you give them, Wayne, as we watch our audience grade the opposition? I give the entire opposition an F right now, an F. What is your grade, Mr. Caesar?
You know, Mark, we're getting the weekly press conferences. I mean, it's once a week. Here and there, you have some information that's going around, but I have to give them like a D minus. It just hasn't gotten.
I knew you were going to give them a D minus, you know.
Yeah, it hasn't gotten to an F yet, Mark. You know why?
They deserve an F, but I respect your D minus. Let's see the grading. Somebody give them an F plus. Somebody give them 3 Fs. Come on, guys. Constructively do the grading. Let's see the grading. Come on. Don't be afraid. Aubrey and them going to watch. They're going to see. All of the MPs who watch, they're going to see.
Solid F. GT Rude, y'all say exactly. GT Rude, y'all, can you please tell us your grade? It's important. I would like to know what your grade is. I'm sure it's an F.
Look at them grades, boys. Well, Paula Mollard, give them a D. Brenda, give them a negative F. Brenda's serious.
Is that Brenda Casey, Mark?
Dennis Atwell, give them an A. Hold on a second. Since Dennis Atwell give them an A, here what's going to happen. They get an A. Keith Beresford give them a B. Audrey Winter give them an A.
Oh, Keith, myself and you, we have to have a discussion about that grade. You have to show cause.
Yeah. So
we'll talk about it.
Yeah. So Carl Miller a C. Patricia F. They're getting a failing grade at the end of this all. Dennis give them an A and then he laugh in because Dennis knew that he was just about to get a donkey. No, Dennis is a good guy. He's entitled to his grade. It's okay. Can't get vexed with Dennis for that. So this is the grading, and I want the MPs them to see the grading. I want the MPs them to see the grading. Turn those F into grading. Somebody give them Winston Carr, give them a B. Renee Glasgow, give them 3 Fs. Lily Fraser is solid U minus. Hey, these guys are not easy, you know. These guys are not. Godfrey Clark, give them a B. But something wrong with Dennis Atwell. Give them an A. Something wrong with Dennis. Dennis got to get. Let me give Dennis something tonight, man. Let's give Dennis an award for tonight. Just for tonight, Dennis. Mr. Caesar, as we prepare to close up tonight's program, go ahead, sir. What else on your mind before we go?
No, I was just going to talk about the whole grading process that we just had there. Let me just be clear that there is no grade for the PPPC. We just want them out. Get out. Nobody's grading you here. Out. You had your chance. Out. You've done nothing for the people. Out. So although we're giving out F grades to the opposition, it's still better than wanting them out. The PPP, oh, gone. We don't want to see those guys. Please. That's it. That's it. No.
You know, people, and look, when we already know the PPP got to go. We all that they're a bunch of Katahara, Nimakaram, and also. But this guy, Ras Ricardo, Brother Mark, I love the opposition, but I have to give them a capital F with love. And Ras Ricardo has been very, very supportive when it comes to the opposition. And this grading here tonight is not a grading out of any hatred, any animosity. It is a grading because the people want to see better. They want betterment. They want an opposition that could stand up, that can fight. Not just once per week you do a press conference and you go back into your hiding and you don't listen to people. Good leaders listen. They have a keen ears and they listen to people. They don't behave as though they know it all and shoot down other people's ideas. No real leaders, no real leader knows it all. None. And so the fact that Mike Pay is in Guyana, they should have already called a press conference because that is very worrying. It's troubling that Mike Pompeo, the former Secretary of State of the U.S., is in Guyana on some private visit, a private visit to Irfan. What is this all about? There's so many opportunities that these guys have, but they just miss everything because some of them want to run around to be leaders, and nothing is wrong with that, but look after the people's interest first. Are they doing that? No, they're not. And so they get a big F. Your closing remarks, please, Mr. Caesar.
Well, Mark, it appears as if everybody is eating the duck curry. So I guess we just gotta wait and see, who is who. I see reason. I see reason for the APNU plus, for the PNC specifically, to hold Congress. I see a lot of reasoning for Congress to be held, and I hope that they do hold Congress ASAP as soon as possible.
They don't want Congress. Aubrey Norton is not interested in Congress being held. Let's be real about it. It's overdue. Unlike the PPP's Congress has not been held since 2016. They're an undemocratic party, but there's no reason, there's no justification for the Congress of the PNC not being held when it was due since last year. That is not going to add up well. It should be held almost immediately. It shouldn't be later down this year, and then there is elections next year. Something is not adding up.
Yeah,
they get an F.
I agree. I totally agree with you, Mark. The people should see who the leader and the possible presidential and prime ministerial candidates are so that they can vet them accordingly and everything and have a good understanding of who their new leaders are going to be. Not holding Congress is just kind of like you're showing the same type of posture that the PPPC would have shown over a very, very long period of time of not holding the Congress. That's not a good look for the Guyanese people. And Mark, that's why I just continue to say that, somehow or the other, there needs to be a viable third option. I don't think the Guyanese people should be forced to vote for one of these two large parties. I don't think they should be forced to do so. I'm looking to see a difference. I'm looking to see transformation in Guyana. I'm looking to see stuff like free university. I'm looking to see, the dropout rate to be, anywhere between 0 and 10 and not 48%, 0 and 10% and not 48%. I'm looking for Guyanese to move out of the negative P of living in poverty to the positive P of living in prosperity, and I'm looking to see a lot of economic moves when it comes to a new government. And for some reason, I'm just not seeing it. I don't know if it is that the proper resources are not in place, but I want to think that we have good economists amongst other things in Guyana. We do have Winston Jordan there. You have young Elson Lowe and you have Carl Greenidge and you have Christopher Ram and these guys who knows, these things. But Mark, I think I'm going along with you. We need to see a robust opposition. The APNU plus AFC have to show that they want to be there. You understand me? Their intention is to do very, very good for the Guyanese people, to do excellent things for the Guyanese people, and not just for the people to move away from the PPPC, out from one transactional, corrupt install regime into an APNU plus AFC regime that just doesn't care about them and is being transactional in nature. This is about the people. And until our politicians and our leaders don't understand, Mark, that it is about the people and have that hunger to serve the people, Guyana will not go anywhere. And to the people of Guyana, I say, you have to vet your leaders. Put the right people in place, man, that that is honestly going to work for you. Thank you so much, Mark, and thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Mr. Caesar, and thank you to all of you there. You've got to be able to vet your leaders. You've got to be able to vet your opposition folks, your members of parliament, even those who represent you in the Guyana Elections Commission as well. And all I would leave you here tonight is, of course, not for you to be pessimistic about things. The PPP has lost the elections. The PPP has lost the elections. They have lost the elections. And let us, whenever somebody comes on this program and we see that they're getting in a certain direction, thank you, Lemon, we send them packing right away. Nobody comes on this show and tell people to shut up. And it doesn't happen. Go to some other show and do that. So call your relatives, your friends, and so forth, and let them check to ensure that they have their ID cards, their names are spelled properly, and that they are registered to vote. It's time for action. You can't sit and wait till month end, as Aubrey Norton said, month end. Month end, the only time I used to hear about month end, well, there are two things I used to hear about month end, but one of them has to be, hey, where you get to pay by? Month end. Thank you so much, Mr. Caesar. And let me apologize for mistaking you for Keith Beresford with that. Yes, you got on that sweater. Sorry about that. But God bless all of you, and see you guys back tomorrow, same place, same time, right here on 107. But Wayne, tomorrow morning, the opposition has a press conference, and maybe we should carry it live right here. And let me just say to the people, to the audience out there, they do not circulate their press conference. They do not notify people. They just throw it on the AP and UFC page, and they expect people to just suddenly know and go. And they just do not. Something is wrong with the opposition. They do not coordinate properly. And so sometimes when we don't carry the press conference on 107, it means that they have not notified us. Somebody get vexed and they haven't been notifying us. And we're not going to drop what we're doing and peep to see if they're airing their press conference on the AP and UFC page. They need to send it to us. They need to notify us. They need to get their act together and start respecting individuals. And you'll see how stronger they'll be. God bless you. Thank you, Mr. Caesar.
Thank you, Mark. Good night, everyone.
And to all our listeners, God bless you too. See you guys back tomorrow, same place, same time on 107.1 FM. If you're celebrating your birth anniversary today, happy birthday. If you did yesterday, belated birthday greetings. If you do tomorrow, we wish you in advance as well. God bless you, every single one of you. Pray for Guyana. So long.
Oh, Jesus Christ, if cost of living double, I don't know what happened. A pound of sugar is $300 already. Flour, everything gone up. Everything just raising. You gotta get about $40,000 for buy good ration. You gotta get 3 man now. A weekend man, a monthly man, and a fortnight man.
If you just know you're that girl,
Yeah.
you just have no choice but to be that girl. And I feel like I'm that girl.
Yeah, my name is Jasnity Caldata, Francis C. Vietnam, and since 1965, I become a voter. And I always place my ex next to the cup. And what they are doing today, I can't take it. So I have no more vote to give to PPP anymore. I'm not going to vote anymore no more. If they have to lose by 1 vote, they're losing it by data. I have no.
So, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3600. 3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.
With another one, straight up, blackness I am. Aye. Who tell the truth? Mark Ben stop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Ben stop, registration is the truth. Mark Ben stop, straight up from the root. Mark Ben stop, who tell the truth? Mark Ben stop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Ben stop, registration is the truth. Mark Ben stop, straight up from the root. Mark Ben stop, I do it for the love, him not do it for no money. Straight up, him attack, educating everyone. Big up my friends and big up my family. Turn on the radio, catch the vibes, it's integrity. Straight up, Ben Scott stands for unity. One people, one nation, one destiny. Free up the truth in the air, even the blind can see. The deaf can need it, don't contact the crip can walk. Who tell the truth? Mark Ben stop, defend the ghetto youth. Mark Ben stop, registration is the truth. Mark Ben stop, straight up from the root.